on the personal side, I have a lot of hobbies. I just mentioned few of them. I like to read risks and uncertainties. I like new biology. So these are my past, and mostly my weekends go on my researching on the topics that I love to follow. Probably I will be able to discuss a lot of the topics in some of the sessions if I can remember. That's what.
Yeah, I would love to hear that. Welcome again. Okay. So our Toastmaster meeting has three parts. The first is prepared speeches. Then we have table topics, where we talk spontaneously, depending on the topic. And the last part is the evaluation aspect of it. Okay, so we'll get started. The theme for today is magic and how it relates to our life. So does anyone know when the first magic trick was performed, recorded on history? Yeah, so it was in Egypt actually. It was 5,000 years ago. And the trick was the cups and balls. So they keep balls under the cups and they keep moving them around. Nowadays it's called three-card Monte, and then people gamble on it actually. In the streets of New York, I know I've seen it. And they use that sleight of hand to first make you win. And as you start betting more, then you start losing. So, so be careful if you're playing that. Suppose we are done. Yeah, continue. Don't miss the magic trick. I'm sorry. Okay, so with the theme as magic, of course, we're going to have some magic here. Guys, no side conversations, please. Yeah. Priyanka? Hello. So I have two Uno cards here, right? So a red card and a blue card. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this red card and I'm going to fold it horizontally like this. So the red part is inside. I'm going to take the blue card and I'm going to fold it vertically. So the blue part is inside. Right? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the red card and put it inside the blue card and fold it on top of it. Right? Okay. Now I take out my little wand. Abracadabra. So the red part is inside, the blue part is on top. Let's see what happens. What happens? Card overturned. Okay, once more. Let's see if we can get it back. Abracadabra. Okay. So now let's just open it so I can show you the cards. So some of you may be trying to figure it out. Or some of you may be trying to say like, oh, how did it happen? Some of you may have already figured it out. But when you try to figure magic out, it loses the charm. You have to live the magic. So I was in California about 3 years ago in a coaching conference. And the conference was a group of coaches meeting together to see how we can create magic in the life of our clients. How we can help them 10x their impact in the world. And there was a magician called Luke Brady. He was an amazing magician, right? He created all these magic tricks, and I was in the audience, and everyone in the audience was wowed by the tricks. But to Luke, the magician, it was not magic. It was just what he did. Right? To me in the audience, it was magic, and it was magical. Right now also, I did this magic here. To me, it was not magic. Maybe to some of you, it seemed magical, or it seemed like, oh, it's magic. See, that's the thing. As a magician, for you, it's not magic. Similarly, if you look at our life, as most of you have come on stage and given speeches, right? And then you wonder like, oh, I should have said this, I didn't say this properly, I wish I had said that. You're trying to see what you could have said and what you didn't see. But you don't see the impact that it created in the audience sitting in front of you. A lot of people would have heard your words and had insights, and it could have even changed their life. But you could not see it. Why? Because you are the magician. For you, it's not magic. Let that sink in a little bit. We create impact in our life at work, we create impact in our life with family. strangers, but a lot of times we are judging ourselves, are we doing enough? Have I done good? But you are the magician. You are not able to experience that, but people around you may be having a magical moment. So with that, let's get started with the first phase of our meeting, which is the prepared speeches. But before that, I would like to call on the general evaluator, Ganesh, Toastmaster Ganesh, to introduce himself, the team, and the votes.
Okay, welcome to another magical session. As a general evaluator, I would be evaluating the entire rating, what went well, what didn't, opportunities are there for improvement, and so on. And for doing that, I will be assisted by the tag team. And I think in today's special in a day, since we're already a little behind time, we can do away with the tag work probably. And our counters, since we're already very good, we don't need an eye counter, right? And same goes for grammar. So I think, but what I do is, does anybody want to be a grammarian? Yeah. Any last chance? Grammarian 1, grammarian 2. Okay, I think I can see the. You're doing table topics? Yeah, Gaurav. So he will be the grammarian today, and just to help him, I will introduce the grammarian as well. So the grammarian's role will be to first introduce the word of the day, which could be a word that everybody can learn from, and it could be related to the theme as well. Yeah? And then you would also look for good grammatical usage, and also point out areas which is not okay and where it should be. And also keep a note on various good words or phrases which are used and give a summary report at the end. Yeah. So with that said, I'll come back at the end of the meeting with the reports, and also not to forget the two main speech evaluators as well, who would also be assisting me in the speeches. So more about that later. But first, maybe I would like to invite Gaurav to introduce.
Yeah, probably I would like to give today because it was a random one. So let me think. Yeah, how about the word Genesis? Sounds good.
You can tell them what it means and how.
So Genesis, the word Genesis means the creation of something, the very beginning. Like if I have to say how did this world even form, I would say the very genesis of the world, from the very genesis of the formation of the universe of the world is the Big Bang. So that's the formation which we can actually create a metaphor around. Genesis is also metaphor and also a word which means the beginning. So that should be the word, and I think we can use it on this speech.
Okay. So thanks, Gaurav, a brilliant start. I think this is the first time where we have a guest as a grammarian. And which is that's great. So I think that said, maybe I'll do the same back to TMOD Ashish for moving on to the first piece. Who's the speaker now?
Ganesh is evaluator 1, Srinivasan is evaluator 2. So I would like to call upon speech evaluator for speaker 1, Toastmaster Ganesh, to introduce the objectives and.
Okay, so it's a pleasure to introduce Toastmaster Apoorv, who has grown in this Toastmaster journey by leaps and bounds. And I can say that with conviction because I've seen him from speech number 1 to where he is today. And today he will be attempting the level 3. Wow, that's great. Level 3 speech 3. And its title is something that we normally yearn for in the evening. It's called On the Rocks. Yeah. So it's from the motivational strategies, and it's a part of the delivering of the social speech. The objective is to deliver a social speech that would appeal to Toastmasters. And I will be evaluating it. Over to you. All the best.
No, 334. Social speech is short. I'll start now. Fine. So I'm going to be reading this out from a piece of paper because nobody really makes the effort of memorizing a eulogy, especially one that I'm giving about myself. So, even though this is on video and you guys are seeing it after I'm gone, you have to keep up pretenses. So let's start. We are all gathered here. You know why you're here. The messages and WhatsApps went out. Just move on. Apoorv is survived by his wife and 2 kids. What do you mean by survived by? How rude is it to say someone to his face like I survived? Like, it's like as if going to the shopping with you was so much fun and look forward to. You know why Amazon and Flipkart killed shopping malls? Because husbands did not want to check out 100 things and buy 2. Sitting at home is easy. Grabbing the lines, I grabbed the handle of the car and slammed the imaginary brakes while teaching you 2 little shits to drive. Survival. Anyway, let's move on. So when people pass on, you're supposed to leave epitaph-worthy words behind. But really the point is, the ones who really have time in your life to fix your karmic points, you guys have already lost the attention in the first 10 seconds. The rest of you can actually understand spoken word. You guys are far too gone. There's no point. But since I'm an ancient one, I have to now leave my words for you guys. This is what I'm going to tell you. Push yourself. Because since Genesis, we have houses being haunted by people who push you around, make you do a workout and throw books at you. You know why that happens? Because all of you adults are freaking fat. That's why ghosts only flee little kids around. So, coming back to that, what I would like to tell is happiness in life is what I've learned from mine, is not found in at the top of the mountain. It's not. It's found when you are walking up with the ones that love you. When you're passing on life skills to the ones you love. I'm lucky enough to count on both hands the ones I love. And through all of this, you guys need to kind of remember something. Just like the ice and the rocks floating on the whiskey, you guys need to chill out. I'm only dead. Thank you, and over to you, TMOD. Thank you. That was a different kind of speech. I think it was a social impact eulogy, so well, not a typical one that you would see, but it was fun. So I would like to now call upon the speech evaluator for speaker 2. Toastmaster Srinivasan is the speech evaluator for speaker 2, which is Toastmaster to read out his objectives.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, the speaker. The purpose Toastmaster Ujjwal is giving speech to from his level 2 presentation mastery manual. And the purpose of this project is to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions entry. Objective of the speech is write and present a 5 to 7 minute speech about a time when you are a prodigy. Share the impact and importance of having it. All the stuff.
Timer, ready? So we all know what a mentor is. They are the one who is taking care of a small things of a person. Whether it's a small work or in the corporate or in the personal life. I just had a one question from all of you. According to you, what is the meaning of the term mentor, and from where it was started? When it was started? Anyone have the idea of it? This I need a one or two pointers of that.
Yeah, I look at it as someone who has walked the path and then has taken the responsibility of coaching or grooming someone, sharing experiences.
Sure, Dr. Ashish sir. So, according to me, to every person in the life, there are two things. First one is a personal mentor. Second one is a professional mentor. We all know that the day we came on this earth, our mentoring starts from that very first day, from our father and mother, especially. And I will tell you my story how it works. When I have landed on this earth, accidentally, sorry, not accidentally, or maybe with all the disease and everything, it was like this guy will not able to walk. Give him a wheelchair. He will leave his life to the. He will manage his life on his own. But one day that changed my family's life completely. When I was able to stand with myself without any help. That was the biggest achievement for me, for my father, for my mother, and for my brother. Because at that time when I stood up without any help, my brother was sitting behind me and he was shouted that much that my father and mother thought that something happened to me. After that, the situation was like everything. I went to the doctor, so doctor told there is no cure of this. We need to live the life as it is. We need to manage the life. So now I will come to another part of the story where in 2014, this is a recent. So first the mentor is the father and the mother and the family members, close family members. And the second one is, according to me, is my cousin brother. Because when I came to Bangalore from Bihar, and I had no idea about how the study is going. No idea at all. I was like, easily I will go to college, attend whole class, and in the end I will give the exam. But after that, what happens? I got failed in all the subjects in the first semester. That too in the first semester, I literally failed all the subjects. So I was staying with my cousin brother. So he told Ujjwal, I will teach you how to do the math because at that time, matrix and all those things, if you have an idea about it, matrix, integration, differentiation, everything, I was doing. So he taught me everything. And he gave me a routine. You will not believe out of 24 hours, I was just sleeping only 1.5 hours of work. And within 15 days, I had my final semester exam. Final. It's like if I will fail, my first year gone. But somehow he mentored me. He taught me like Ujjwal. Actually, at my home, my nickname is Guru. So he used to tell me, Guru, do this. He gave me a script. If you do this, it will be good. Plan the day accordingly, plan the work accordingly, and you will manage. And the best part is when everyone in the family was expecting that Ujjwal will not get more than 40% or 50% because everyone knows because he didn't study. And if a person will not study, then how he will get passed? luck by chance, I got a 70% marks on my. Everyone was asking how this happened. I just told it's because of my mentor, Mr. Anupam. He was his name. Okay. Now it comes to the Toastmasters. When I joined the Toastmasters in the last year, it was like it goes on and me that what happens actually. The idea of the Toastmaster comes when my brother told me that Ujjwal, you should join the Toastmaster because he's in Wells Fargo right now, and in his team also there are some people who is in the Toastmaster club. So he saw that some people are going to do the speech and their English was good, actually very good, and they are the tech guys, so Java developers and all. So he told me, Ujjwal, we'll go and try, give a shot and let's see what happens. So I have connected to Srinivasan at that time, and after that, I am here, and I am doing all the things. And if you talk about the characteristic of a mentor, the mentor should be like he should be ready to give the feedback. And there is a difference called mentorship and the coaching. Mentorship is like he will sit with you, any person will sit with you, and he will discuss that what is the problem, how you taking care of it. He will see each small details and he will give the time. But in coaching, what happens? These are the things which you need to take care of. These are actually a short term goal. Like finish all this, coaching done. It's the first short term. And what I thought, and in the Toastmaster especially, there are some criteria of having a mentor. That the mentor have completed the one path fully and in a XCOM or in a member team of more than 6 months. So I just like to end with a statement that who is your mentor, whether in a personal life or in a professional life, give them a big thank you in your heart and enjoy the whole life. Thank you. So, thank you. Great speech. The topic itself is close to my heart because I am a professional coach and a mentor. We're professionals, so a lot of points resonate with what you said. Okay, so let's move on. Magic. What is magic? If you look at it, magic is when you see something impossible become possible in front of your eyes. We call it magic, right? There's a mystery to it. Something was impossible and it became possible. Now, what is impossible? Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. These are the words of Muhammad Ali, who created magic in the field of boxing. Magic. When you understand that magic is not a skill set, but a mindset, everything becomes possible. So with that, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Priyanka to create a magical tabletop session.
Good morning, everyone. So today I will be introducing a table topic. So table topic is it is the most exciting part of the time where you need to think impromptu and speak. So it developed few communication skills like listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking. So let's start. Who wants to come first? Yes.
One thing that you have discovered about yourself. One thing that you have discovered about yourself.
Discovered about yourself this year. This year.
What I heard is not about myself at this year. Like I procrastinate and a little bit like I ignore things which is not necessary for me. I mean, look at the world. There's so many things you have to explore and you have to do. And whichever things which is in the area of your interest, you just want to accept them and rest is just like mindful movement. So like last year, I usually like why you saying something like that, why you say something like which critics. So I usually like at this year what I felt I usually accept the critics and whatever there is ignored like something which is not related or relevant, I just dump it for the moment. I don't think next.
How do you bring the balance back when you are feeling overwhelmed? So, when people talk about work-life balance, I've always felt that life is work. Yeah, I mean, I've always felt like it's all work. Whatever is balance is life. But yeah, things change. Yeah, I think as you know, there are many times you feel overwhelmed, and this question is, what do you do? What when you're overwhelmed? I think it's different for different people. But for me, I have found that listening to music is a great stress buster, and I've got my favorite music which I hear, and sometimes I go for a nice walk. Fortunately, community there also offers that opportunity. And just yesterday, I went for a 5 kilometer walk here, and it was amazing. And the challenge was to continue walking without stopping for a minute. And of course, I did complete in 45 minutes, which is certainly not bad. But the most important thing I took away from that, how the mind starts moving and wandering, and you can think about so many things that you want to. And I can really now resonate with the fact how marathon runners uh, they find that different cloud when they are running, and it's a form of meditation. So they meditate when they run, and that's the best takeaway. Thank you.
Thank you.
And lovely cards.
The activity I know and love, but I'm not. Proceed. Great question. Proceed. I've been taught, I've told you many times. I didn't speak for almost 3 years. In the first 3 years, everyone thought I was a mute. Nobody knows the reason. I don't have a family background, siblings who speak well. But I didn't speak for 3 years. And even for the next 7 years, I didn't have any social interaction with a lot of people. Even then, I didn't speak. And I was moved from a small town, village, remote village to a town, and I was too overwhelmed. Seeing everyone speak so very well, but I can't speak. I can't speak like that because of my family background. I grew up from my childhood. One thing I wanted to do is to speak very well. speak in front of public. And unfortunately, I studied in government schools where they didn't give you opportunity to work on those areas. I moved on somehow, got on with life. And even without being a good speaker, somehow I managed to come to this level. I finished my graduation, post-graduation, my professional, everything. But still, that was there in the back of my mind that this area I'm not really good. Even today. And you all know that I've given only 3 speeches. I completed only 11 in the last almost 2.5 years. I still lag there, and I feel that that is one valuation that I want to bring onto myself. That way, I can influence others. I love mentoring. I love coaching. I've not been doing, but I love to do that. And I know the importance of counseling that can bring change into everybody's life. People who are in despair, people who need it, they don't get it. But this one skill can really change everybody's life. That is what I think. And that is the reason, even though I've not been very active, I've not been contributing, I don't want to skip the meetings. I still want to attend because one day, yes, a bit in a day, if I acquire still, I'll still be good after a few years. Thank you.
Key phrases or quotes that capture my worldview. Key phrases or quotes. Now, yes, that's very interesting. So, timer, I'll let you know when to start. Let me just gather. Sure. I just have got 2 minutes. I'll try to cover as much as possible. So, the very important phrase or a quote, it's not a quote, but I would say a metaphor or a word that really captures my worldview is looking at the current state of events that always comes to my mind is the black swan. I'm sure most of us have heard the term black swan. Now, black swan is an event which nobody predicts that can ever happen. But once it happens, we all think that, okay, we make sense of it. This is because of so and so reason this has happened. Now, what could be the recent black swan event that is happening in all our lives? Anyone? COVID, right? Nobody predicted this, but it happened and it has drastically changed the course of events in the world. But later we think that, oh yes, we knew it was coming. It could have been prevented. Maybe we could have done this. Now, likewise, there are a lot of life events that occur in our own lives which don't predict because of our confirmation bias that we have. Because we tend to think in a particular way, in a particular pattern, and we think that such and such an event of a drastic capability to change the course of our events in life will change. Cannot happen, but they do happen. The internet came and it has changed the world. World War II was a black swan event. Likewise, there are many black swan events, and we always tend to think probably somewhere if we can keep a tap on the event of black swans, we can probably change some course of our lives, maybe gain some leverage out of those events. Like a lot of the players have done it before. Thank you.
Thank you.
The risk uncertainty, right? This one, I'm most committed to. Is that what?
Yeah.
It's nice and well. I just got rid of my glasses by the way. I've been doing eye exercises and the doctor said I don't need glasses anymore.
I am most committed to.
Committed. So first let's talk about what is commitment. There's a difference between interest and commitment. When I'm interested in doing something, I do it when it's convenient. When I'm interested in doing something, I do it when it's comfortable. When I'm committed to doing something, I do it in spite of it being uncomfortable and inconvenient. That is commitment. Because to do things that are simple, you don't need a commitment. Commitment is required when you have to put your energy. It's like two banks of a river. When you have a commitment, the river flows. When you have the banks, the river flows in a particular direction. Similar, life flows in a particular direction. Without the banks, water is everywhere. It causes flood and damage. So commitment is really important to achieve anything in life, right? Because you will anticipate hurdles and you get over it. So what am I most committed to? I think there are a couple of things that come to mind for me, and that has changed over time. The commitment that I've had. Today, I've experienced an aspect of myself by doing meditation, by doing certain things, and the power of that, and the knowledge, the spiritual knowledge, that life can be a celebration in spite of its ups and downs. Right? Ups and downs are part of living. Smiling through them is the art of living. Is what we say. Life will continue to happen the way it happens, but you can still have an experience of it being a celebration. And that can only happen when you get that knowledge, that spiritual knowledge, understanding of your thoughts, understanding of your emotion, understanding who you are, understanding why you are here. And so I'm most committed right now. My biggest commitment is to spread this knowledge. And so I've become actually a teacher where I teach the happiness program, I teach breath and meditation and yoga programs, because I want this knowledge to go to everyone, because people don't realize the power they have within themselves. You can create your own world. And in fact, one of my quotes that I love the most is, the way you see the world is the way you create it, right? The way you see the world is the way you create it. Or the world is created by the way you see it. And we tend to look at things a particular way, and when we change the way we look at it, our world changes.
Thank you so much.
Your handwriting is awesome. Yeah.
What my parents how close
So the topic is how my parents think to expect from me and how close I have achieved it. So this is also actually a fact story. The, the academic career of mine has every time it's like ups and downs. I have passed my 10th in 2010. Then I thought, let's do physics, chemistry, math, and do engineering. But when I sat in my first exam in 11th, I thought it can't be possible that I will pass all these exams. In the middle of that, I left that. Again, you can imagine that a person who is studying the 10th and 12th from the science background, again he sit, and again he started from 11th and 12th from the commerce background. And then in 2014, I gave the exam, and with a minimum percentage like about 58-59%, I passed out. And at that time, when this happened, that my marks was low and all, so they thought Ujjwal is like a one who can help, or his life will go like in a moderate way, not like he should go in a small town where there will be less expense and we can enjoy the life easily, because we all know that Bangalore is a very expensive place. But when I thought let's do some miracle, then 2014 and in 2014, from 2017 I did my BCom. In that I got about 60% plus distinction marks, MBA distinction marks, and with all small I was doing some job, and currently I am in the Walmart. So now my father normally tells, you have succeeded my expectation, what I have thought about it. That's it.
Thank you.
Funny.
Look at this.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's like my handwriting. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. How do you feel at the moment? Great topics, by the way. How I feel at the moment? When my foot's asleep, I was sitting there for like 30 minutes straight. I'm having those pins and needle sensations. The only thing I can do is like stay here and pass in 1 minute. Stay calm. Don't let anybody know. That was my thought. What brings this back to is Toastmaster Ashish also spoke about meditation, and I have found uh, the staticness that meditation brings because from our birth we are all creatures of motion. We're always in action, right? I mean, the definition of life is things that keep interacting, changing, moving. Meditation and taking a deep breath and just coming back to the moment in the present is what actually is probably my guess is that brings me back to a sense of calm. Because in the past there is only regret, and in the future there is only anxiety. The only moment we actually have is right now, this the present. And in our hustle bustle of everyday lives, we forget to take a breath. How many times have you noticed that we are shallow breathing? How many times did you actually notice that our postures are bad? Right? See how everyone's fixing their postures. Right? So this is what taking a breath means, stopping and smelling the roses. All that is to stop our everlasting ongoing life for one fraction of a second and take in the beauty that life is. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, everyone.
I can give a topic, right? What cards are left? You can select one. That's the cards, right?
No, this is not like that.
There's lots of cards.
Okay, two cards is many. I need to speak. Okay. Life-changing moment. How and when? Let me think. Good morning, everyone. Whenever I came here to speak something, I go blank. What is this? No, but it's okay. So, life-changing moment for me. Actually, there is lots of life-changing moment. Once, yeah, joining here Toastmaster is one life-changing moment. Actually, before that, I thought like I never in front of people and speak like I can speak one-on-one and with friends, it is fine. But with in front of many people and speak and most of the time I am listening to people. I speak less. So this is one place I have to speak. So this is also my some sort of goal. I I I want to speak and I want to motivate people. So this is the one thing. And the second thing is like when I started doing exercising, like previously I was always busy on doing office work. Office is my life. I need to do all the work, but I never get time for myself to explore myself. So I joined exercising then meditation. I want to follow that, but I'm not doing every day. So whenever I got chance, I try to do yoga, meditation, or any form of exercising. Actually, I like exercising. So when I do exercising, I feel that I am um, feeling great, and I am feeling energetic. So this is one, like, this is the main thing, yeah, life changing for me. Yeah, thank you.
This dances there.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
No, no, he's not there. It's okay. He's not there. Let's continue with some more magic. It's magical. Hmm? I'll call you. Okay, so I'll just shuffle all this. Who wants to volunteer? All you have to, you can sit there. Come. You can just stay talk. Stay talk. Just see it, show it to everyone. You can show it to everyone, show it to everyone. Then you can put it wherever you want. I want to be. So I want to tell you two secrets. One is a spell that you can use. Right? You only have a wand within you. You just have to cast this spell. When you cast the spell, you'll be able to create the things that you want. The genesis of this spell also I will tell you about. So this spell is called abracadabra. How many people know what it means? What does it mean?
I create as I speak.
Yes. It's a very ancient Hebrew Hermetic phrase, thousands of years old. So since that time, people knew, I create as I speak. When you speak, you're casting a spell into this universe, through which creation happens. Right? So now let's think back. How many times are we talking about things that we want versus things that we don't want? I don't want traffic. I don't want this kind of boss. Right? How many times are we looking at situations the way we want and speaking that out versus talking about the things that we don't want about the situation? How many times are we talking to a person and saying what we want him to do or want him or her to be versus what we don't want? Why are you doing this? Why did you do that? Because as we are speaking it out, we are creating that person, right? If I tell someone, oh, you're useless, you're this, I'm creating that person to be that way. That will be my experience of that person. But if I tell someone, oh, you have a wonderful smile, or you have some amazing energy, I'm creating that person to be that way, and that will be my experience of it. So this was something that I really learned and it's changed my life. Abracadabra. I create as I speak. So just be careful and be aware of what you're speaking because you're creating that. But the good part about it is the positive aspects of our life, the positive energy is much more powerful than negative energy. So even if you've said something in the past, it's okay. You can change it and start seeing, okay, is this what I really want in my life? And if not, change the way you speak about it. So that's the first one, first secret, right? Now to the second secret. We are the magician, so we don't see the impact. But there is other side to it also. We are also the audience to the greatest magician ever. That is the universe or nature, whatever you want to call it. Right? But then a lot of time in our life we don't experience that magic. Why? Why are we not experiencing? It's happening all the time. There are miracles happening. Yeah? Too mechanical. Yeah. Because like I said, when you read a mystery novel, right? How many of you first go and read the end, who murdered, who was the murderer, and then come back and complete the story? Anyone does that? I know Shamla does that, so. And like I have to tell her, don't tell me, you do it. Yeah, see? Now that someone else does it, we have to.
It's okay. We all have our things, right? How many of you try to figure it out in the middle? Yeah. Even I do that a lot of times. And then how many people just wait till things unravel? So some of you, yeah. So if you notice, when you try to figure out the mystery or the magic, the charm goes away, right? Because you're too caught up into, okay, what happened, what happened. But instead of figuring it out, live the mystery, live the magic, right? So if we start living the magic, you will experience the magic in our lives, in my life, in your life, right? But when we try to control it, oh, this should be that way, but you allow it to happen, then you will see that there are many magical moments happening in your life. How many people can remember things that they thought were impossible for them, but then looking back, you feel like, oh, I felt it was impossible at that time, but now it's become possible. It actually became possible in life, right? Many of us have. How many people have experienced magical moments, like miracles, we can say, in life, like that we thought was just not possible, but it's happened, right? So a lot of times we get in our own way, and so if we are able to get out of that and let the universe do its work, and at times you are the magician, but at times you are the audience, and so you can sit back, relax, take a deep breath, and experience the magic. So with that, I'd like to call upon the general evaluator today for the last section of our meeting.
I think Toastmaster Ashish, through his card tricks, he has shown that he is the jack of all trades.
I just learned it for this meeting.
Yeah.
I borrowed my daughter's phone.
So, to come to a fantastic conclusion towards the end of the phase 3 now. So I would, like to invite myself as the evaluator 1 for Toastmaster Apoorv speech. I couldn't be wrong when I said Toastmaster Apoorv has really moved in leaps and bounds in Toastmasters. What I love most about your speech is your subtle humor, almost bordering on sarcasm, a bit of the dark humor, I would say, but the subtle humor that came across when you said how Amazon succeeded because husbands don't like to look at 100 things and select two. Or why is it he survived by so and so? I think these were insights into your mind and gave us a snapshot of the humor and how you look at a certain situation from a different perspective and really brought us into that. The second aspect I loved was the curiosity that you set. You got us all curious in the start, and it took some time for us to realize where we are going. It's almost like the cryptic clues of the crossword. Yeah? But we got there, and that generated that eagerness to listen to each word coming out from you. Some of the points that I would recommend for even better speech was, I think the objective of the speech was the eulogy, and a eulogy by definition means praise. I thought that the speech focused a little bit on the humorous and the slightly negative or humorous aspects of the person, but really was not very forthcoming on the praise aspect or the positive aspects of the character whom you were talking about. And that would have added a richness and got us a very balanced perspective of the person that you. The second aspect was, in terms of structure, it was a little difficult for me to comprehend where the speech was going and what was the central message. We got onto it directly onto the eulogy aspect, and by the time we ended, I felt that it was a little abrupt at the end, and you could have spoken a little more. Also, given the fact that you completed your speech in 2 minutes and 50 seconds rather than the minimum 3 minutes. So maybe a little more could have been thrown. Having said that, and I do this for every speech of Apoorv, your language and command over the English language is impeccable. Amazing words like epitaph, karmic points, the word of the day Genesis, except for the one point of view, guys, which is sometimes conversational, but the rest of your English is, almost like a tribute to the Collins Dictionary. With that said, in summary, a fantastic speech bordering on the dark humor, great curiosity, and fantastic language. A couple of aspects on the structure and the positive aspects of the speech could take it to a different level. Thank you. I will. So with this, I would like to invite the evaluator number 2, Toastmasters Srinivasan, for his insights.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, dear Toastmasters, and to my target speaker, Toastmaster Ujjwal. I was actually thought, maybe you thought something about a mentor. I've been his mentor, but I've not done the right justice to Ujjwal because I've not given the inputs that he needed, nor he took any help from me. However, this is just his level 2 speech 3. That means he has just given 6 speeches so far. The way he evolved from the first speech till now, it's amazing. Flow, the way your body language, the natural, without any inhibitions before speaking to an audience. It's come a long way. You're already there as a speaker. Such a joyous moment to see that he has become a natural speaker in front of us. And I know that he has not prepared. In spite of that, his flow was continuous. He was not even taking a pause to pick up any sentence. That means you're already there as a speaker. Congratulations. And you started with a question. The idea of any speech is to get the attention of audience. Any speech for that matter. And ensure you pass on the message to them and they grasp the message. And you get benefited if you want to influence someone. Unless the speech is good, if that impacts them, they will not listen. So it's a two-way one. Any speech for that matter should benefit both the audience and the speaker. By starting with the question, that you got the attention of everybody. Your body language was very natural, very open. I didn't see any closed traits in your speech. And your conclusion also is extremely good about the difference between mentorship and coaching. And you aligned your speech very well. Most important one is most of the time we start with an objective, but our speech is something different. However, you aligned your speech with objectives. That's one major positive point. Coming to the improvements, while your body language is good, you are moving too much. That was not necessary. If you are moving too much for every word, the audience get distracted because they have to focus on where you are, than focus on your speech. That you can avoid. And the shoes was making they were making too much noise. Okay, it was like music to your speech, that is fine. And you are giving your emotional connection with your family. You chose your family to give the example of coaching mentorship. While we don't actually use a lot of emotions, intonations in real life speeches, like in boardroom corporate, we can't be very dramatic. It has to be like a monologue. But we just increase the pitch wherever we need it. Emotions we cannot show in the corporate rooms, but this speech requires that emotions. In Toastmasters, even though in real world we don't use any kind of emotions and intonations, in Toastmasters we are asked to prepare for the drama in our speech. It's like exact drama when you're doing the speech. When you said your brother shouted at you, you could have used that, you could have been a little louder. Otherwise, it is just like your brother shouted at you. We don't know what is the impact that it had on you unless you raise your voice and say, he shouted at me. and give a pause so that the audience will get, yes, this is happening. They also leave the talk. Right? That is one expectation required when you're giving the uh, personal story. And also, personal stories always are more interesting than giving somebody else's story. Very well as a speaker there. And that's all. That's all. Your starting was very good. You ended with a message. It's all good. That's all we needed in every speech. A couple of small points is make a note of your body language. Just avoid too much distraction, and also just have a look at all the audience. When I'm talking to you, you are my target speaker. You have to give speech as if you're giving it to everybody. Most of the time, you are watching Toastmasters Ashish because he was actually responding to you. Just ensure that you're conscious that there are a lot of audience. With that, you've done a very good job. You've come a very long way. Keep up. All the best to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srinivasan. I'd like to invite our guest, Toastmaster Gaurab, for the TG report.
First one, the jobs of the excuse which anything which not which I might have failed to capture. So to start with, yeah, speech of Apoorv. So he was to finish his speech at 2 minutes 51 seconds. Now, yeah, Apoorv finished his speech at exactly 2 minutes 51 seconds, and there were many good usages of vocabulary. So he used the phrases like grab the handle, the words like epitaph, which was very Genesis. He used the word of the day, turning point of the day. Really awesome. Yeah, I mean, and among the not so proper usage, it was a tough time to capture anything in proper because he's really extensively in his usage of English. But I could just find one out of really a lot of effort, which was when he would use the term need to have remember. Maybe that was a slip of tongue, but yeah, that was not in the right place. But yeah, that I had to do it, so I had to really find something. And I had to sweat for it to find something. And next was Ujjwal. Good usages were goosebumps, and they were like as Srinivas mentioned. But probably there is some work that is required on the phrases. I will not go too deep into it. Like maybe one of the phrases I would like to mention is my story, how it works. I mean, probably how it went is probably more appropriate usage of grammar. So this one would be yeah on the table topic. Yes. So it was again equal to 2 minutes 1 second to finish the speech, and yeah, there was an improper usage like can't be possible. Like we can't. That's not an accurate usage of the grammar. Probably we can say it's not possible or was not possible. We may just go to the past tense. And you also mentioned currently I am in the one, but so if somebody is now itself, so probably the in front of it. So and of course on the data topic it took 1 minute 44 seconds to finish the topic. Uh, and there were really some related vocabulary coming back to the moment, hustle bustle, shallow, sense of calm. These were really amazing. And I couldn't really find any proper issue, even though I tried my best to find. And Priyanka, you took 1 minute 55 seconds to finish your daily topic. Good usage, short-term goals really important. Use this important. And proper usages were like I joined exercising. You don't say enjoyed exercising, you can say I started working out or I started exercising. So these are the words you may want to focus on in the next one. And yeah, okay, you can 58 seconds to finish your gaming topic. Speech, good usage were like you brought in the words like relevance and all. Those were really good. Improper, I mean, there's nothing as such improper, but I saw you adding just in between your sentences, like I just. So that probably is not required, the usage of just. Sometimes we end up using like I actually, I just. These are like, I am not so proficient in grammar, but I think these words don't really need to fit in. Uh, I think Ganesh, you're talking about the good usage was usage for challenges to resonate like really again I didn't really have, I mean I had to sweat hard to find something but I did not. That's what overall amazing. Srini, good usages were overwhelmed, working on the areas back of my mind. So that is pretty awesome as well. Myself, first time I'm my own critic. Good, thanks for that. Black Swan is the event that Black Swan is proper usage, rusty, leverage, and probably I think among the proper usages that I made was that is happened. I might have used the term is that it should have been has, right? Yeah, so I did that. So thank you for that. Ashish, banks of river, good usage. I was actually thinking, how do I really say, in Hindi we say the kinara, like how do we really say the kinara of the river, right? That's the bank. So I was confused looking for that term, I forgot it. So that's one thing for me. Banks of river. Yes, aspect of myself, good usage, art of living, another phrase. Um, so again, on an improper usage, often it is a slip of a tongue, become, became, or became actually a teacher. You don't need to use the word actually. Unconsciously, we end up using these terms actually, basically, way to often myself is this. So I think that's not right. And you took 2 minutes, 1 second, you should read. I took 1 minute 41. She did 2 minutes 17 seconds. And it's 1 minute 39 seconds. And you took
Splendid, amazing evaluation on the timer. Such a detailed and insightful. Kudos, fantastic. So coming to the general evaluators report, I think today's session is testimony to the fact that the quality of the session is independent of the number of people attending. Very high quality session, and the highlight being our magician TM. I would say it was very insightful, right from the abracadabra when he created it as he spoke, to the various magics, to various magic tricks which are shown, and impacted by the beautiful quotes from Mohammedan. Impossible is nothing, and possible is nothing. So on. Really an amazing session. Yes, we could have started on time, but we do realize some of the issues. But I think going forward, we should start maybe at 10:05 or 10:07 with the quorum available. Uh, Having said that, the start and the welcome to the guest was very well done by Team and impromptu role takers like Toastmaster Gaurab introducing the word of the day Genesis as well as taking the timer is really awesome and fantastic. And as I said, another highlight is that having the table topics master also to speak. I think that's a good innovation which we must continue because we don't want the TTM to feel that they don't get a chance to speak. I think I must acknowledge that the cards she printed out, while it was difficult to read, it was really splendid and fantastic. Yeah, really great. So a great session. I really enjoyed it, and as well as the evaluations. And it's great to see the progress that all of us have made with each other, among ourselves, and internally as well. And I think that is getting reflected in the quality of sessions. So great, and keep it up and have a great weekend. That's it from my side. Back to you.
So really amazing, amazing session. I would like to end it with one last, you could say a secret, or you could say something that I learned that really changed the way I think about things. And that is, like any seed has already the tree inside it, right? All you need to do is nurture it. Similarly, whatever we want to achieve in our life, if we believe that the seed is within us and we nurture it, then it happens. If we feel I don't have, and you continue to put effort, you continue to get frustrated. Right? So if you want to be successful, know that the seed of success is within you. If you want to make more money, know that you already have enough and then work towards more. If you feel I don't have enough, then it's like nurturing an area where there is no seed and you're putting the water and the effort, but nothing is going to sprout. And for me, that changed everything, right? Knowing that I already have what I need, I can still work towards whatever else I want to create. So with that, I want to just end with one question. So if everyone can close their eyes and just ask us this one question: what is it that I want to create in my life? What do I want to create in my life? Doesn't matter where you are, where you came from. At this moment, what is it that I want to create in my life? And let it go. Let's observe that magic happening. Because wherever we put our focus, that goes in our life. We put it on abundance, abundance grows. Put it on lack, lack grows. With that, I want to hand it back to the presiding officer. This is me. And since the gavel is here, I'm going to bang it. So with that, I declare the meeting 129 closed.
So we may come across the TM without any. Means like